high enough on his agenda. He said I used to consider it a 1 or a 2, not too interesting. He said by the time he finished his little discussions through DARPA, it became a 9 or a 10, which is why he participated in our closed conference, because he was concerned about this issue as one of those very big issues. When you look at the DARPA contracts on electronic telepathy, you look at the Air Force work through the Electromagnetic Directorate of the Air Force in what they call controlled effects, which is manipulating a human being by being able to overlay a whole synthetic mindset. I mean, that's their goal. When you look at the Navy protocols for research in this area on mind control, which we've actually posted since they were first issued in 2006 on our website, because on page 9 of those protocols for human experimentation, they specifically use the words mind control and laying out the levels of authority to approve those experiments. This work is being done in virtually every area of the military. All of it gets coordinated, I think, primarily through DARPA, and then they're able to disperse that technology more widely through the military community. Central Intelligence Agency, which has been tagged a few times, in terms of the history, the church investigations of the 1970s, when the CIA was nailed for mind control experiments, the old MK Ultra experiments, and there's sub-projects associated with those, the interference with mail and domestic surveillance. I mean, all the kind of stuff that's sort of happening again today. We're right back to where we were when the country got all this disclosure in the 70s, Watergate happened, all this stuff happened. That's when my dad was in the Congress, was the early 70s. And then coming out of that, we sort of got amnesia. And this is sort of the other part of the political game, is you wait long enough and you can play the game again. And that's exactly what's happening. These institutions have waited long enough, and now there's enough latitude, enough secrecy, and enough cover to evaluate developed technologies, essentially with virtually no oversight. And then once the technologies are fully available and deployable, then you have some national crisis like 9/11 that allows you to bring them out of the closet and use them when otherwise you'd never have a prayer. In fact, the military actually put papers together at the U.S. Army War College back in the 80s, and I mentioned them before, the Revolution in Military Affairs and Conflict Short of War. And it was this whole paper back in the late 80s, early 90s, and it was about the idea that all these new technologies, like the ones we're talking about tonight, were coming forward, but they violated the Constitution, they violated due process, and so instead of saying, okay, we can't do them, they're off limits, which you would hope people in the bureaucracy would recognize, instead it was, all right, well, how do we create enough fear in the population so they'll let us do it, so they'll suspend their judgment? And it became, the article, the paper went on to describe the idea of using fear or international terrorism as the vehicle for bringing those technologies forward. And I think that's unfortunate because, again, it's using the wrong tool to transform the country. Fear and anxiety and worry are what brings Adolf Hitler's into reality.
And it backfires eventually, doesn't it?
It always does, because it's external stimulation doesn't last. Things for real change, it has to be intrinsic, inside each of us, with us driving that truck, with us making those judgments and those decisions, with each individual sorting out what's right and true and then acting on it, not through fear and anger and propaganda, but through logic, persuasion, and the higher emotions that are organized and associated with higher ordered thinking and higher states of human consciousness, which include the emotions of love and compassion and empathy, among others.
When we come back at the top of the hour here, we're going to talk with Nick Begich about HAARP. What's going on there? Is it
company, and they are working heartily on various applications and technologies for the smart grid. I'm not familiar with the other company, Paul. It's not a company. It's a scientist. He was with the British Royal Navy. What was the name again? Barry Trower. Barrower. Yeah, not familiar. He's a microwave weapons specialist. And he was the guy that interviewed the spies back in the Cold War, for that top secret weapon at the time. Evidently, the Russians were beaming microwaves into the Moscow embassy for communications. They had an antenna and a plaque up on the wall, and they were able to listen in on our conversations. Well, by doing that, they got our guys sick, and they killed 2 ambassadors back to back with leukemia. They both died within 2 years of each other, and they had all kinds of DNA damage in the workers, and high rates of cancer, and the whole bit. And so they kind of took that technology and said, oh, wow, wait, we've got something here. Instead of stopping it, they supposedly made, microwave weapons. Well, these smart meters are all wireless, and I only know about this because I was at home the day they put one on the side of my house, and I woke up at 3:10 the next day, and I didn't know anything about what a smart meter was. Since then, it's been over a year. I've researched this and investigated this every day. I woke up at 3:10 for a month straight. Okay, I had to move. I had to get out, get away. It's an eerie type of wake up. You're one moment, same story. Anecdotally, I have heard these same stories, even from my own brother-in-law, who just recently was having these same episodes in the middle of the night, just terrible sleep, and he realized that smart meter had been attached to his house. That's right. I've been hearing this more and more from so many people. I know a lot of folks are doing research on this. And in California, it has caused an uprising in certain communities whereby they've been able to, at least for now, stop the smart meter from being attached to their house. So because this is demand response technology, and because these are all remotely, these are remote control devices. And obviously there is something going on here, the likes of which I don't understand because I don't study that portion of the science. But we're hearing too many stories like this to let it go.
It's all about control, Brian, isn't it?
I do believe that. And absolute power corrupts absolutely with some people. And you can go back to many of the demagogues and dictators over time, and they've all had this thing in them, which really stemmed from the bowels of Marx and Engels, who believe that certain people are spit out of their mother's womb with a little better brain than others, and those people have some sort of responsibility to the planet to make sure that those with the lesser brain stay under control, lest they kill one another and destroy the planet. So this kind of brings about an elitist mindset, George, whereby some people really think it's their goal, it's their role in life to control everyone. And these elitists live oftentimes very opulent lifestyles, while at the same time they're telling us that we need to reduce our carbon footprint, but they justify that because they say, listen, I am good for the planet. I know what I'm talking about, and therefore I will tell these others how to live.
Let's go next to Jim, east of the Rockies, out there in the Pittsburgh area. Go ahead, Jim.
Hi, Brian.
Good to have you with us.
Okay, good to talk to you. I had a question. Would it not be possible, I assume these meters, these storm meters, are controlled by low-frequency radio waves. Would it not be possible to put RF chokes in the line and prevent any control being taken over by any of your plan?
George, I actually do know how to prevent the smart meter from operating. I probably shouldn't tell people over the course.
Well, we don't want anybody electrocuted here, Brian.
Well, and not only that, I don't know, there may be some legal issues, but it's actually quite simple to disconnect one of these devices, and you can pretty much do it without any tools.
Could you hire an electrician to do it? Would they do that?
Probably not. This is attached to your house, but because you have a contract with the utility provider,
it's theirs.
It's theirs. This is one of the reasons why I'm a huge advocate. I think the best way to use solar power would be to use it and actually remove yourself from the grid. It's interesting with all these rebate programs that are offered through the various governments, the federal government, the state government, probably even your county, depending on where you're listening to. They'll only give you the rebate for the solar as long as
Alright, for some reason, I don't know if they're... Alright, I can't seem to find a particular tidbit of the of this digital audio file. I don't know if they're using remote neural monitoring to erase the segment that I'm trying to literally transfer to you. Understand this and be clear. I'm a target. I've been a target for 10 years. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to look for it right now, so just look for the YouTube comments, the title in the YouTube, look for the YouTube title in the comments feature of this one, in order for you to clearly see exactly what I'm talking about, because if you do, you'll understand that you did not waste your time, literally, in reference to what I'm trying to show you.